Yo everyone, Dislo here. I'm gonna talk to you about PSP UMDs, my favorite, but also least favorite way to play video games. So the PSP UMD is the physical way to play PSP games on your PSP console as the way God intended, or in this case, Sony. Love it or hate it, the UMD holds a very special place in my heart when it comes to physical media, and it's just so nostalgic for me. As a kid, you know, in the year 2005, 2006, young lad Dislo, you know, he wanted to play, you know, PS2 games on the go. What a better way to do that than have a PSP? Except I didn't have a PSP until like 2010. I remember back in the day when my classmate, we'll call him a great con man named like Ricky. He brought in his PSP and showed everyone Midnight Club, and this was the most mind-blowing thing to me because before this I didn't know a PSP even existed. Looking at the PSP and seeing PlayStation 2 graphics on a handheld this big, you know, this is insane. I never knew that you could do that at the time, and so I wanted one so bad until, you know, eventually I got one, and then the rest is history. I have a video on that on this channel called Trader's Remorse. You should go check it out. But I mean, you also had flagship titles releasing on this console, like a game from the Jak and Daxter series titled Daxter, which, oh, beautiful game. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, which looked exactly like the Kingdom Hearts games on PS2. You had Final Fantasy Crisis Core. That is, ooh! Not to mention that beautiful, beautiful noise that PSP games make when they start up. Play the sound! No. So the UMD is better known in its full name as the Universal Media Device. I don't know why it's called Universal Media Device because it's not universal at all. Only PSPs can use it. I'm sure Sony intended to make more devices to use it, but eventually they just said, you know, f that, we're gonna make the PSP Go, which doesn't even have a UMD optical drive, which is ridiculous because why would I buy this, especially when you don't even have all the PSP games on the PlayStation Store? Come on, Sony, do better than that. Sony chose to go with an optical drive just mainly because flash memory at the time was a little bit too expensive for their taste. On top of this, Sony figured that the PSP UMD would have pretty good DRM, and it didn't. In fact, it is so brain dead easy to get a PSP emulator and PSP ISOs running on your computer. I could do it in my sleep. It is so easy, and the games play just fine. You learn a lesson from Nintendo, Sony. Take down everything on the internet. Now, in terms of collecting for the system, PSP UMDs are quite cheap right now. You can find a lot of really good PSP games for dirt cheap at places like Second and Charles, any kind of retro hobby shop, online, you know. Pricecharting.com is your best friend for this kind of stuff. There are a few hidden gems out there though, like Persona 1 on the PSP. This right now goes for a lot of money. I'll put it up right here. This is one of the few rarities that I actually got at a pretty decent price. I got this for about 40 bucks a couple years back, and man, this game is awesome in terms of the case and stuff. And it even came with a full-fledged actual soundtrack, which I can't listen to because CDs nowadays are pretty much obsolete. Why do I always have a hard time putting stuff back into a case? I don't understand it. But yeah, so if you want to collect PSP games right now, this is the perfect time to do it. Just a little side note, by the way, I really love the PSP cases for the games. It's just like a mini PS2 case, the size of a Switch case, great for storage. They kept the greatest hits format, which I truly, really do love. And they have a little yellow bar at the bottom of the PSP logo to show you, hey, I'm an exclusive for the console. It's not invasive, and it looks pretty clean. On to the movies, where the cases on those look terrible. They use silver instead of, you know, a black or a white or a red, you know, something that would kind of go with, you know, the style of PSP games. But to me, just the silver on the header looks really, really tacky. It looks really, really bad. Really, really bad. Movies and TV shows were okay on the console, but it did more harm than it did good. The movie format for PSPs, it really wasn't enough comparative to traditional DVDs, where the traditional DVDs could hold 4 gigabytes of data, whereas the UMDs can only hold about 1.8 gigabytes, meaning that you had to have stuff cut out. For me, it's just like, why? Why would I want to, lose the director's cut stuff, the special scenes, the deleted scenes, the bloopers? I mean, if you just want to watch a movie on the go, go right ahead. But I would just much rather go ahead and get a traditional DVD, or nowadays, I could literally just stream it to my phone, and it's even better quality than it would be on the PSP with extra stuff. It's all good though. The PSP has Pulp Fiction. That's all I need on it. Now, the one thing I really do not like about the UMD is how breakable the shell is for these games. In fact, they're so breakable, it wasn't out of the ordinary to see replacement cases for your UMD. In fact, on one of my games, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, I have one. And it's an even better quality than the one that Sony ships out with the UMDs. I don't know why they went with this really cheap, pathetic plastic, but as a kid, you don't really have the money to replace a UMD shell. So if it's gone, it's gone. It's broken. I've had several PSP games where they just fell apart and I could no longer use them. Part of it was just being a reckless kid, but the other part was, even as a collector, taking care of my stuff and playing the games, quite a bit, they just kind of don't really hold up, and you have to get a replacement shell. I will never understand why Sony did not use a thicker plastic or a better designed shell for it. It doesn't seem like it was that hard to make this, considering there are several third parties who have made better shells. It's one of my very, very big pet peeves with UMDs. But yeah, there's nothing really much to talk about with UMDs, honestly. I thought I'd express how much I really, really, really enjoy UMDs. Just because it's just such a nostalgic form of media to experience. And I highly recommend anyone that wants to get into PSP games, please collect them. They're so cool. They're so different comparative to other forms of media out there, like cartridges and traditional optical discs that you can put in a good old PS2. If you like this video, leave a like. Go check my other stuff. I'm starting to get these out pretty regularly. I'm gonna work on these when I got time. There's no real set schedule for videos right now. I'm gonna try to get one out at least every 2 weeks or so. Just talking about whatever I want to talk about, and that includes, video games, anime, music, because that's all I do now. If you like this video, leave a like, or don't. It doesn't bother me either way. The fact that you watch this, means the world to me. Anyway, see you guys in the next one. Peace out.